Hello everybody, it's Kristen. Today I wanted to share a new type of journal that I've recently made from a little golden book. And there are 3 examples here. I also have a 4th one. This is the one that's actually in my shop. The other 3 I'm keeping. But if you are interested in a Christmas card holder / organizer, storage space for Christmas cards, this is the kind of journal that I would recommend. So I'm going to go through and show you this one first, and then I will show you the ones that are mine that I'm keeping and how I've used these for holding Christmas cards. So this has a fabric spine. It's a vintage little golden book, and this one's old enough that it doesn't have a barcode on it. It was 69 cents originally. I don't know the exact year, but it's a fairly old one. And it has a seam ribbon closure. As you can see, I decorated the page edges with different kinds of trim. I've got this fancy gold and red trim. This is just a red, really pretty red trim. There's some rickrack, there's gold and red and white rickrack. There's also fabric ruffles, and there's a pom-pom one as well. So we'll see that as we go through. So this is a Night Before Christmas book, and I chose cardstock for this that comes from one of the Christmas collections that Michaels had this year. I did decorate the inside of both the front and the back cover. Just put some scrapbook paper there as well. And so this is created with, let's see, 10 sheets of decorative cardstock that are folded into pocket pages. And so it has 5 signatures. I got this idea from Thrifty Day. If you follow Thrifty Day, she did recently a tutorial on making a Christmas card holder with ring bound style, and I discovered that I really don't like ring bound style, so I just went ahead and sewed them in like I would for a normal junk journal. So the pocket pages will look like this, and because you're folding up the edge of the paper, if it's directional, then on the other side the illustration will be upside down. So what I did was add some further collage pieces to kind of mask that and just make them a little fancier. This one comes with a blank Christmas card, so you can see how it will look once you've filled it. But so there are blank pages like this where you could add journaling, you could do whatever you want with them. You can leave them as they are, but the pocket pages will look like this. So this one is another decorated one. This one as well. This one is actually a tuck spot. So I used the cut aparts from this collection to do the decorating here, and also to add a couple of tuck spots. So this is another pocket. And over here, this is the pom-pom page. That's super fun. That is actually vintage pom-pom trim. There's another pocket page. So these are really cute illustrations. This is another pocket here, and then 2 pockets here. This one is the other tuck spot. There's a pocket right there, pocket here, and a couple of pockets there, and then a pocket here. So I'm not going to add any further pockets or anything like that, but if somebody were to purchase this, they could certainly add whatever they would like. What I have noticed with my own journals is that I have put 1 to 2 letters or cards per pocket, and that seems to work out pretty well. When you start bulking it up even more, of course it'll expand, and because there is a ribbon closure on here, that would be perfectly acceptable. If you didn't mind a chunky journal, it would just get a little chubbier. So just in case you're wondering, like, why do I need such a thing? Well, these are the 3 that I made for myself. And so this is the first one. So I'll go ahead and show this one first. This is the actual first one that I made following Thrifty Days tutorial. It has pocket page, sorry, what was I going to say? It has holes for the ring bound style of journal, because that's what I started with. And then after I was working on it for a while, I was like, it just was so annoying to me, the rings. So I took it, and she also only did 4 well, she didn't do signatures because it was ring bound, but she used 8 sheets of paper, and I ended up bumping mine up to 10. So this first one only has 8, which means that it has 16 pocket pages. But in this one, I also decorated the front and back covers, got the fabric on the spine. I really like how this one came out. I think it's super cute. This is a decorative greeting card that I bought recently, and I just thought it looked really cute in here. And so this one, I have actually saved Christmas cards from previous years. And I do have a collection of Christmas cards that are really old, like cards and letters from the 90s. My husband and I got married in the 80s, so we started receiving Christmas cards at that point. And so I know I have them from the 90s. I might even have some from the 80s, but I didn't go back that far for this book. I just started with the most recent collection, which was 2018. And I put in the 2018s, which I think cover this part right here, and then the rest in this book is 2019. Now, so you could collect cards and letters from every year and just have a whole bunch of these journals that you could make and have on a shelf. You could bring them out to decorate with at Christmas time. You could, have them out so that people can go back and review cards and letters from previous years. I actually think that's really fun to go back. So this is one way of doing it, where you're just saving old cards in the pockets. And you could start with this year, or you could start with previous years. But most of these pockets have 2, usually 2, sometimes 3. Let's see, that one only has 2, but I didn't feel a need to bulk this one up anymore because I was only doing the 2 years in it. And I don't believe I have any tuck spots, but you can certainly add tuck spots to the non-pocket side of pages if you wanted to. There are sometimes, now these journals are 6 by 8 inches, and sometimes there are Christmas cards. This family always sends these huge Christmas cards, so I actually did trim this one down a little bit. It didn't cut off any of the writing, so I thought that was okay. But they do the same thing every year, and it's a really big card that didn't quite fit in here, so I just trimmed it down a little bit. Most cards that you'll get will be 5 by 7 or less, and those fit. I think this style of card is a 5 by 7, and it fits perfectly in these pockets. So that's one way of doing it. Then the second one that I did was this one, and this one has cards coming from 2020. So they started with 2020, and it's actually going up to this year. So I've had to kind of cut down on the number of cards that I save, but some of them are really special. Like this is my sister. She is a glass artist, and this is a photograph of her glass art that she had printed on a card. And of course, I really want to save that. And then there's cards from other family members and really close friends that I keep in here. I really love this one. We have relatives in Australia and they send this kind of card every year, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, so here's one where I did 3 cards in one pocket. So, you know, it just depends on what your cards and letters happen to be like and, you know, how thick they are, how many you'll like to put in the pockets. But I would say 2 to 3 is kind of a good thing to imagine. And the journals that I have done since the first one are all ones that have 20 pockets per book. So I did actually weed out some cards when I was going through the ones that I wanted to put in this journal. I did weed out some. So I mostly keep the ones that are from, like I said, from family members, special cards from friends that, you know, are kind of just more special. Because sometimes you just get a card that says love so-and-so and it's a really nice card. It's a pretty picture, but there's no story inside. And so for those kind of cards, I will often just take the cover off and use the cover for other junk journaling, and just, you know, get rid of the back side of the card. So I filled up this with the 20 and 21, and for some reason I can't find 22 and 23 cards anywhere. So if I do come across them, then I'll have to rearrange or whatever. But I did have extra pages here, so I started putting in some cards that we've gotten this year. So there's one there and one there. And so I do have empty pages that I will continue putting cards in for this year. So you could use this basically as like card display, card storage per year. So you could have one book that you put the cards in as they arrive every December, and then at the end of the holidays you take out the cards and you discard them, or, you know, reuse them for journaling. You may keep some of the letters in a separate place, but generally you would have one book that you use every single year for every Christmas, and it just comes out. It's a display thing. It's something that holds the cards as they come in, and you can, you know, pass them around for a family that wants to look at them or whatever. The other way you could do it is, this is the one I just finished this morning, and I made this one with a really special pack of paper. Number one, this Rudolph book, not this exact one, but this story with these images in it. This is like my childhood one. I had the giant, I still have it. It's a giant golden book, so it's the really big sized ones. And so this illustration is really sentimental for me. So that was one reason why I chose this book. But then I found that I had these papers from Cartabella. It's a collection called A Very Merry Christmas. And it came out maybe a couple of years ago, so I don't even know if these are available anymore, but I just thought the colors and the mid-century design on that pack of paper went really well with this book. So I covered the inside of the front and back covers again, and I used only papers from that collection in here. And so this one, because this one is this is my favorite so far. It's really, I just love everything about it. I love the cover. I love the papers inside. I didn't actually add any trims to this one, and I may or may not do that in the future. I kind of like some of the trims, but I'm not sure if I want to do it. So I'm just going to wait, and I can always add them later because they go on the side that doesn't have the pocket. So I can just add them at any time. But this one I'm using for our personal family Christmas letters. So if you have been writing Christmas letters every year, or doing photo cards every year, and you have a collection of them, this might be a good way to display them and to store them during the year, and then to bring them out in December to display them. So that's what I'm doing with this one. And I was only able to find Christmas letters, I had to go to my computer. I did have some printed out, and I actually had them in like 3 different locations, so I kind of had to get everything all together, which took a while. But there were some that I wanted to reprint. So the cards before 2000, I think, must have all been just handwritten cards that we mailed, and they may have had a photo in them, but they're not on the computer, so I don't have access to them, which is too bad, because I'd really love to see what those cards said. But anyway, since I was able to just only go back to 2000, that's what this book has. It starts at 2000, and it has the Christmas letters that we sent. I obviously don't have the Christmas card, because if I would send a letter like this, it would be tucked inside, a nicely illustrated card of some sort. I did do a few photo cards, which you'll see as we go along. The other thing that I wanted to add, since I just have the letters, is if I have a photo that came from that year, I've put that in the pocket as well. So this is 2002, 2003, and I had, this is the photo from 2003. So I put that in the pocket as well. And so it goes along like that. I have 2 years per pocket. So there's 2 letters and the photos if I have them. I mean, I'm sure for the ones that I don't have the photos in here, I should be able to go back and find a photo and duplicate it if I need to and put it in here. This year, actually, we did this handmade, it's not letterpress, but it's a block printed card with a picture that my son drew. And so in here, it's the actual, I just happened to find this one that was left over. So I have the actual card, I have the letter, and I have the photo that went with it. So that is going in there. And then here again, we have 2 letters and 2 photos. And as we go along here, I actually happened to find, this was not our Christmas card photo, but I found this picture of our little dog. This is Scrabble in 2010. And I'd forgotten that he got a picture with Santa. And I just happened to find it while I was looking for all those letters. So I just put that one in there. And then there were a few years where we actually had professionally printed photo and letter sort of things. So these that were printed by one of the companies that does that sort of thing. Like here's another one. This one's actually a pretty big card. So I put that in there on its own just because it's a thick card. And there are 2 years that I can't find so far. So I just left those spaces blank. I don't know if I'll be able to find them. But we'll see. So that's 2017, and this is 2019. This is 2020. And for these later ones, I didn't have the photos printed, but I will see if I can find, like if there were multiple pictures, but there's a family picture, then I would try to put that in the pocket with it. This was the last sort of professionally printed photo card that we did, and then these are just letters, so I need to look for those photos. But so this has basically room to put in this year's card, and I can kind of smoosh them combine them more in the earlier pockets and add later years as room allows in this one. It is actually getting a little chunky already, so we'll see. I could put a ribbon on it as well, but like I said, I can do that at any time, so I'll just maybe wait on that. So anyway, those are a few different ways that you might want to use a Christmas card holder. And I have just this one available right now, but I would be open to making more in the future. And so, it's also a very easy process. So if you make journals, you might want to think about making something like this. It's a really fun thing, and I look forward to having this one out on display so that, especially my daughter's visiting this year for Christmas from Europe, and I think it would be really fun for her to go back and read these letters and see what we were doing 24 years ago. So anyway, I think that's it, and thank you for watching. I will be back soon. Bye-bye.